Good morning, everybody. This is Mrs. Sopiarz-Rianda. I am posting this a little early for those of you who have zipped through all the orientation and introduction assignments, and if you want to get started. So this will be what I do every single Monday morning. I'll post your weekly session, and I will also post this weekly update video. What I expect for you to do every single Monday when you first log into our class is to watch the video and go through the session plan for you to understand what is expected for the week. Okay, so to start off, as we always do, you can see right here, we are working on Unit 5, Synthesizing Cultural Perspectives with Eli Weisel's Night. Here is our schedule for the entire unit, along with all of the deadlines or due dates, which is always Sunday before midnight. And this session will run through January 13th through February 9th. So by clicking on Unit 5, Session 1, this is due January 16th before midnight. And this week we'll be reading sections 1 and 2 of Night, which is approximately pages 3 through 28. And it starts with the sentence, "They called him," and ends with, "in Birkenau." Now the thing is, the novel Night does not have official chapters. They're not numbered, but they are sectioned off. So I'll just be referring to them as sections. But it's a good idea if you own a copy that you just go ahead and number them, just with a pencil even would be fine too. Just to number them so later on if you're borrowing it from someone or from the library, you can just erase it as well. So that is our reading schedule for this week. If you don't have the novel yet, you absolutely have to get one today. ASAP. This entire unit is based on reading this novel, and so you definitely need one either in your hands or on your tablet. If you have any questions about that, please contact me so that I can help you brainstorm ways to get a copy of that book. So clicking on the session plan, as I mentioned, we're going to start reading Night this week, and it is an extremely powerful nonfiction text based on the experiences of the Holocaust by the author Eli Wiesel. And this week we're going to be working on gathering background information and then start reading the novel. Some important announcements. On Wednesday, January 15th, is back to school night, and I will be there from 6 to 8. It's over at the Jeffco Ed Center in Golden. Come on by, stop by. I'd love to meet you in person. It's always great to put a face with a email address or a name, and I'm sure you feel the same way. And then on Monday is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It's MLK Day, January 20th, and we will not have school that day. Schoology is always up and running, so if you want to work that day, by all means, please do. But the work that I will assign you next week will be from Tuesday to Friday. So all the work that is assigned is manageable within that time frame. Also, our weekly help session is always on Wednesday at 1 o'clock, and if you want to join that session, all you do is click on that link right there. And think of the weekly help session as basically a time for office hours in a traditional classroom. It's kind of like you walking into my office virtually. It's completely question answer format, so I don't have a presentation for you. I won't be teaching you anything. It's strictly a time to have one-on-one question and answer. But don't wait till office hours. Definitely, as many of you already know, if you have a question or anything, just contact me. Email me, text me, message me. You don't have to wait till Wednesday at 1 p.m. I am here to help you, so definitely take advantage of that. Here are the assignments that are due by Sunday, January 19th, and their point value. And here is the schedule for the week that I highly suggest that you follow. Definitely want to have daily goals so that you chip away for not only my class, but all your classes. So day one is you're actually ahead of the game right now. You're watching the weekly update video. Then review the wiki assignment and watch that video as well to learn about that assignment. and then begin your research on the life and times and the work of Eli Wiesel. On Tuesday, continue your research and then add 3 credible links and 1 image along with explanations for each to our wiki. Day 3, you're going to post to the background discussion, review the dialectic journal, which you are going to be keeping a journal through the entire reading of night. So it's important that if you're reading ahead, to be sure that you note important quotes and passages, so that when you do your dialectic journal for that session, you won't feel like, oh my gosh, I read that like 2 weeks ago or a week ago and I can't remember anything. So definitely keep track of those quotes and passages while you are reading through the entire book, because you will be doing a dialectic journal for the entire reading. And then on Wednesday, begin reading. I just broke it up into chunks for you, manageable chunks. You are required to read sections 1 and 2, which is basically pages 3 through 28. So I just broke that up into 3 days, 3 manageable reading days. And as I said, note important passages and quotes to record in your journal. On day 4, continue your reading through page 20, post to the background discussion. And then finally on day 5, which might be Friday for you, read the end of section 2 and submit your dialectic journal number 1, and then post to the background discussion. So by the end of this week, there should be 3 posts in the background discussion assignment. And as always, what you do to navigate through each session is to click on Next. In this session, we're going to be exploring some overarching essential questions that you need to keep in the back of your mind as we're reading, that I will also follow up on, either not at the end of the session or at the end of the unit. And definitely read this quote, this very powerful quote by Eli Wiesel there, and ponder that. So the first assignment, as I mentioned, is your wiki. And there are detailed information, detailed steps here, and video. So be sure that you watch this video first and follow all of these great steps to research background information on night, as well as contribute to our wiki website. Be sure to also submit your wiki contributions along with explanations into the Dropbox. So you'll be submitting it not only to the wiki, but also be submitting your contributions into the Dropbox. Again, be sure to read those directions carefully and also watch that wiki video, because I go through it step by step. After you have contributed to the wiki, your next step is to visit those websites. Not your websites, I mean you can if you like, but explore the websites of other students on the wiki. And look for historical events surrounding Eli Wiesel and the novel Night. Then what you're going to do is you're going to post a 3-2-1 initial post. And what that is, in your post, you're going to note 3 interesting things that you learned from your research of other students' websites. You're also going to post 2 questions that you still have, and then make 1 prediction about the book. This is 1 post, so this will be like 1 giant, 6-sentence paragraph. That will be your post for the session. Then be sure to respond to at least 2 other students in the discussion board. So you should have 3 posts by the end of the week. After your discussion, you are going to begin reading. And as I mentioned earlier about the reading for this section, it's sections 1 and 2. It's about 25 pages or so that you're going to be keeping a dialectic journal. And here's that information on what a dialectic journal is. It's basically a conversation with the text. And the process is meant to help you develop a better understanding of the text that we're reading. And as I also mentioned, you're going to be keeping a journal, having a journal entry for every session in this unit. And here are the steps for keeping a dialectic journal and an example. So on the left-hand side, you're going to choose a passage that you feel is insightful, powerful, provoking, puzzling, or it has great imagery. So be sure that you also include that page number. It is a requirement. Be sure that you include the passage, quote, and the page number. In the middle column, you're going to explain to the reader what is happening in that moment in the book. Okay? And then for the analysis on the right-hand side, you're going to dive in a bit deeper. You're going to write your response to the text. So your insights, ideas, reflections, connections, predictions, or comments about the passage. And each analysis needs to be at least 3 sentences. At least. 3 is the minimum, mind you. Okay? So again, here's an example of a quotation, context, and analysis. So be sure that you use this model when you are writing your journal entries. Choose 3 quotes or passages per section. You're reading 2 sections this session, so you should have a total of 6 for this journal. Okay, and there is a handout right there that you can use for this journal. And you'll go ahead and submit that journal entry right here. Be sure that you complete both parts 1 and 2 of the journal. There are also reflective questions on the essential questions for part 2, so make sure that you complete part 1 and part 2 and submit it into the Dropbox. And then you're all done. Congratulations. If you want to, you can start reading ahead, and I will post the reading schedule for the next session here. Again, if you are going to read ahead, be sure to keep a track of those quotes and passages for your dialectic journal for session 2. Have a fantastic week, everybody. If you have any questions, as always, please let me know. Thanks.